Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today is Wednesday, which means it is Marvel Wednesday. You get a little M, you get a little W, and Marvel Wednesday, woo! But we're continuing on. We're watching everything in order in the MCU. And then once MCU is done, we're going to go back and we're going to do Marvel Legacy movies and stuff, so it'll be kind of fun. But I'm pretty excited today because this is one that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a bit. I finished watching Season 2 probably about a month or two ago, and I'm really excited to talk about it because I think it's a really interesting season. So let's go ahead and start talking about Luke Cage, Season 2. Luke Cage Season 2 was released in 2018, and no spoilers, but essentially what happens is we see him at the end of, the Defenders has passed and Season 1 has passed, which, by the way, some slight spoilers for Season 1 of Luke Cage, and the Defenders will be here because I can't avoid them. So if you haven't seen Luke Cage Season 1 or the Defenders, maybe come back to this after you finish watching Season 2 and those. But essentially what happens is we see Luke Cage be a superhero, but he's also a famous superhero, right? He's like Iron Man, right? Where everyone's like, oh, I know Iron Man, that's Tony Stark. Where here, it's like, oh, that's Luke Cage, he is Power Man. I mean, they don't actually say Power Man, but that's him in the comics. And he becomes a Harlem hero, right? Where he's always there, he's always, interested, and everyone's always watching him. And he has to fight this Bushmaster guy because he is essentially using this weird drug to make him superpowered because he believes that Harlem is his birthright. Harlem is my birthright. But it's a weird... I don't think that the way that they presented the bad guy was very good, but I liked the bad guy a lot. And then we have this side thing. Oh yeah, well we have Misty first. Misty has a new arm because she lost hers in the Defenders. So Rand Enterprises made her a new arm, and it's really cool. So she's becoming her own kind of superhero, which is kind of cool because I like her a lot. And she's getting a lot of diss from her police department because they don't really like her very much now. So she's trying to figure out how she can continue doing what she loves on her own without the help of her police department, which is a really cool story. And honestly, I wish we had our own season just for Misty. And then there's this really weird side plot with Mariah and Shades. And essentially, they're in this weird coupley relationship with the bar. I mean, and then they're trying to make the bar, but then they're trying to sell the bar, trying to sell the weapons industry to make money so they can make another bar and move out and stuff like that. It's really complicated, and it honestly isn't quite well done. It's still okay, and it's interesting to watch, and you can follow along, but it isn't the best side plot by far. But I think overall, Luke Cage Season 2 is really fun. I like Bushmaster a lot. Once you get past his accent, he's really fun to watch, and I think he's really cool. I think the actor, we'll get there in a bit, but he's really great, and I just don't think it was quite presented well. I don't think we introduced the bad guy very well. But I like the idea that, it's very Marvel-y here, right? It's very oh, I hate the Stokes. And he's trying to kill all the Stokes is his plan. And I think it's a cool plan because at least it involves the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? It involves some prior knowledge, which is a really cool thing about Marvel Cinematic Universe is you need to watch everything in order to understand everything. You can't just, watch Spider-Man Homecoming without watching the Iron Man movies and expect to not know anything, right? Same here, especially considering there's a really cool special guest star towards the later half of the season, which I'm not going to mention because spoilers, but I think it was really fun to have this guest star in. But I think it was a really interesting season. I do. I think it was a good season for a Netflix Marvel show, and I'm not going to talk about the last episode because the last episode of this show was freaking awful. I hated it with a passion. The last 5 minutes of this series, because it's the last season. It's bad. It's really dumb. I hate it. I hate it a lot. It pissed me off, to be honest with you. I didn't like it at all. It didn't make any sense, which is one of the main reasons why I don't like this season was the last episode. Up until then, it was really fun, especially when we got to look at Bushmaster and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about some of the acting, because I think the acting is really strong here, starting with Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. He's freaking great. I mean, even in Season 1 he was great, and I think he's even better in this season into the last episode. But that's not his fault. I shouldn't blame him. I'm going to, but I shouldn't. But Mike Coulter is great. I really think he's great. I hope I can see him in other stuff. I'd love to see him in the MCU as Luke Cage, or even another character at this point. I think he's really, really fun, really great, and he's the perfect Luke Cage. Simone Missick as Misty. I think she's really great. I think she's even better than Luke Cage in some parts, and she's also a big deal in season 2 of Iron Fist. So it's really nice that we also get to. It's a really cool MCU moment where like every character is like kind of intertwined, and it worked nice. And I liked her a lot. And we got to see her in Iron Fist season 2, and I was hoping we got to see more of Misty because I really do like Misty. And Mustafa Shakir as Bushmaster. Again, once you get past his accent, you really can understand him, and it's really nice. Subtitles are really important, in my opinion, for this one, but even the subtitles are written in the way that he speaks, so it's kind of difficult. But he's a really fun character, and he's really great. And his acting is unbelievable. I think he might even have had the best performance in the series. He is really great. I liked him a lot. I think I liked his character because he sold it to me, right? Like, I don't think he's a great villain, I don't. But the way he sold it to me, like, just by talking and doing this awesome action stuff, it worked for me, and I really liked Bushmaster here. And I'm kind of sad we're probably not going to see him again. All this being said, I think it's a really fun season. I do. I think it's a good season, and it's fun. The last episode's awful. The villain's okay. And yeah, it's got its quirks, but, you know, it is what it is. And it's a little bit shorter than the other Netflix series, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give Luke Cage Season 2 a B-. Definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. If you guys haven't seen Luke Cage, definitely do it. It's at least worth one watch. I wouldn't recommend watching it twice, but it's at least worth one watch. Let me know what you guys thought about Luke Cage Season 2 in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I love it a lot. I'll always respond. Please consider subscribing. It's a huge help. We're really going places. Starting next week, we're doing the Saw series. So we're going to take a small break from the MCU after we talk about Daredevil Season 3 on Wednesday. Then we're going to do the Saw for a week and a half. Before we go back to our regularly scheduled programs. But thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.